Welcome to podcast number 382. Are you having trouble adapting these techniques to smaller projects? Stay with us.
This is the Elevate Construction Podcast, delivering remarkable content for workers, leaders, and companies in construction wanting to take their next step. Get ready to step out of your comfort zone with Jason Schroeder as he encourages you to do better, live a remarkable life, and expect more. Let's go.
Welcome, everybody. I hope you're doing well. Hey, real quick, today's podcast is about adapting to smaller projects. However, there was a really neat thing that I was thinking about and talking about on it was a webinar presentation that we're going to do next week. And I was invited on a panel, which I really, really appreciate. But we were talking about technology, and I thought about these principles that I've recently learned, and I want to anchor you back to, but it's probably not enough for just a full podcast. So when we're thinking about technology, this is something I learned from Janos and Marco, technology should not do things humans should do, and technology should do the things that humans should not be doing, right? So if it's communication, collaboration, visualizing, right? Technology should allow, humans should do that, right? Technology shouldn't substitute things like that. Like Zoom and data, dashboards or visualizations, BIM models, those all help humans collaborate, but it should never take any of the functions of the actual communication or the collaboration that humans should do themselves. But things like calculations, artificial intelligence, creating historical patterns and projections, I already mentioned the complex math, right? Doing repetitive tasks that humans shouldn't be doing. That's the purpose of technology, right? So when we see digital platforms just transferring sticky notes from walls where it's active information and putting it onto a database, that's something that humans should be doing. And, maybe an online platform works better, but don't just do something just for the sake of making it digital and online. It has to be filtered through what should humans do? What should automation do? What should platforms do? What should applications do? What should technology do? The other thing, and this came from Nicholas Modig in the Japanese, there's such a thing as active and passive information. When we have active information, that means that it's visual to human beings and we can use it in an active way. So if you go to these Japanese manufacturing plants and distribution centers and some of these really fantastic places on the earth that do lean construction, visual management is more about it being active in front of the people so that they follow the judoka principle, which is where you can see the status of whether or not the team is winning one look away and correct and use Kaizen, use the principle of continuous improvement to reach the goal together as a team with total participation, right? So don't take things from the wall and put it into a computer just for the sake of putting it into a computer. Your active information must be visual and accessible at all times. And if that means you print something out or you use a whiteboard on a wall, so be it. And nobody should poo-poo those things and those ideas. If it makes more sense because you're working remotely with COVID-19, or because you're using large screen TVs, or because you're using iPads, and more people can access the visual information, then by all means use technology. But just don't do it for the sake of just doing it with technology. So here are some silly things that I hear all the time. Oh, we're 100% paperless. That's the only way to go. No, that's not how life works. There's times when you need to print something. It's just an additional tool. Do what you need to do online and paperless, and do what you need to do when you need to print something out. If you're a superintendent and you feel constrained mentally by looking at a little iPad screen and you need to print out some drawings to go be a builder, then by all means go print those drawings. Seriously, we have to be able to figure this out. Don't just do paperless for the sake of doing paperless. There has to be a business need for it. The other thing is, Excel is bad and we just have this software. Well, who said Excel is bad? It's a freaking beautiful program. Just because you've locked somebody into one functionality where Excel had multiple functionality doesn't mean it's good, bad, right, wrong, or indifferent. I've heard people also say, get rid of the ugly stickies. Like, be careful of people that say these things, because if stickies are better on the wall, or dry erase markers better on the wall for the foreman that you work with, then go get a dry erase marker and stickies on a wall. But if for some reason it's better to be on the application, put it on the application. The guiding principle is, where will it be the most visual, where it can be active information instead of passive information, okay? The other thing is, for software developers, I freaking loathe software developers that are only in it for the money. They're totally in it for the wrong reason. If you're a software developer and you don't have respect for people and changing the industry is your goal, then you should really stop. You're a dirtbag. You need to stop that. Do not trust companies or people that are only developing software to make a buck. It's disgusting. The other thing is, anything that we do should be addictive as Facebook, useful as YouTube, and quick as Wikipedia. You know, when somebody gives me a project management software, and it takes me 37 steps to fill out a safety report, the answer isn't no. It's hell no. There's no freaking way I'm doing that. It's an absolute waste of time, and it's stupid. I'm not doing it. If you are a developer, you need to cater in every way, shape, or form to the workers, foremen, and superintendents, PMs, PEs, field engineers out there in the field doing the work. And here's the test. Yeah, are people addicted to this versus doing it by hand? Is it more useful to do it digitally than it was to do it the old way? Is it quicker to do it this way, or was it quicker to do the old way? I don't care about your corporate data. Like, don't justify 37 steps to enter a safety form so you can get corporate data that nobody's going to do anything with. I want it addictive, I want it useful, and I want it fast. And if we would all just stand up and say, I'm not buying any more stupid software that makes it harder, less addictive, and less useful, then people would get somewhere. Software developers need to actually go to the place where people are doing work and find out how the people doing the work want to do it. We are smart enough to figure this out. We can't just say, oh, here's the back end, here's the platform I'm going to build this technology on. The graphical user interface is limited, but we'll just go ahead and do some workarounds and things like that, and the field people just have to deal with it. No, stop it, shut up, sit down, stop doing that. All of you venture capitalists out there that are making money off of software as a service, you disgust me, and you need to stop. I want you to make things easier on the field so that they can be in the spot where they're supposed to be doing their job, watching, observing, keeping the project safe, clean, organized, right? The other thing is, software shouldn't hide information. Just because we have stuff on the cloud, if you've hidden it on the cloud, or if you've hidden it on an iPad, or if you've hidden it on a database, or if you've hidden it in your project management software or in a file structure or something where people can't see it and access it daily, you're doing the project a disservice. The other thing I would say in closing this out, because I spent too much time, is that all-in-one sometimes may be all-in-none. Meaning, somebody used to criticize me, oh, Jason, you're using Bluebeam, you're using, gosh, I always freaking forget what the daily report, Note Vault, sorry, dang it, thank you, Bluebeam, Note Vault, BIM 360 Field, BIM 360 Glue, you're using Excel, you're using all these different softwares to go out and do your job. That's too many. We need to consolidate, blah, blah. Well, most of the time when everyone consolidates into all-in-one, it becomes all-in-none, because now you don't have the functionality, whereas a human being could have learned a couple of different types of applications which were really killer. I remember one time somebody saying, oh, we switched from BIM 360 Field to the quality app on our project management software. I'm not going to say which one in case they're going to sue me, but and oh, it's great, it's all in one. And then we asked the question, well, what are the numbers? Oh yeah, we tracked it when we were in BIM 360 Field. Like, we were at like 850 observations a week in the company. Where are you at now? 25, and we're plateauing. And it used to be growing exponentially. And so I'm like, how the hell does this make sense? You were 850 observations a week. Now you're down to 25, and you think this all-in-one solution has made this better. This is ridiculous. If I could do anything, I would get everyone anchored. Do not go get a software for your company unless it's thoroughly tested and proven and endorsed by the people actually doing the work. I hate it when people are like, oh, we should buy this software. Oh, we should do this. Oh, we should. People are trying to fix a problem with a software, and you should fix the problem before you go to the software. Like, we have got to stop this madness. This is absolute stupid madness. Okay, let's go into the podcast. So, we're going to talk about adapting. Oh, took longer than I thought. Sorry, we're already at 10 minutes. There you go. So I hope you're doing well. We're going to talk about how to adapt things to smaller projects. So I'll go quickly. What I'm excited about, I'll tell you one thing. We did a boot camp and we're doing a transformational change with Petticoat Schmidt in Florida. I freaking love those human beings. They are so great. They're so dedicated. They're doing such great things and they have the grit to stay with it. And they're going to be an example for anybody to follow. Huge shout out for that company. I absolutely love the leadership. They're great, great leaders, great humans. Here's some feedback from some fans. Hi, Jason. I've been following you for about a year since I heard your name and saw a video of you and Jake Smaley for the DPR Lean Leadership class. Love your podcast. Have listened to your Elevating Construction Superintendent's book, and I'm halfway through your tax book on the podcast. I also have the superintendent's checklist up on my wall. First, thanks for your work. Second, 2 questions for you. One, for tact, I'd love to see more tangible examples and case studies on real-life projects. Again, only halfway through the book, so maybe resources will be mentioned later. Are there good case studies for either the projects you led with tact at HP or other project case studies from others? That's a tough one because I was in the business of scaling and sharing, not documenting papers. A couple things. I have nothing against documentation and case studies, but if my word as a first-hand witness and the ability to call those projects as references isn't good enough for you, a case study isn't going to talk you into it, but I have nothing against it. The answer is there's companies like Tacting, Timoti, let me think, Intact. I mean, there's a lot of people, a lot of experts that have case studies. There are white papers with case studies that we can get on the IGLC. There's a number of different places for those. I personally don't focus there because I don't care to waste my time. If somebody needs a case study to understand logically that it's a superior system, I don't really have time to do it. But not insulting you. I love you. I think it's a great question. Number 2. You've spoken highly of HP in your different mediums. Your viewpoints and expectations in the elevating construction superintendent seem to be more regimented than I typically see at other companies like DPR, but I'm a fan of it. Could you help me understand a comparison of DPR and HP from your perspective? I can do this without getting in trouble. I love both of those companies. From a builder perspective, I wouldn't have wanted to be trained by anybody other than a Hensel Phelps or a Turner or a Kiewit type company like these, the big boys that really just do a lot of training to build people from the ground up. The other thing is, I do not believe in any program anywhere in the industry that builds superintendents without a field engineering program. You have to have a field engineering program to build great superintendents. I mean, I've just seen I care about people too much, and I love this industry too much to not just tell it how it is. You have to have a field engineering program if you want to make great superintendents. So I would not trade that for the world. And I'm very proud to see that DPR has started a field engineering program. DPR has one of the best cultures on earth. Now, it's harder to scale in DPR because each project is somewhat autonomous, but I loved working there because I had all the latitude in the world to do what was right for the customer. So I would just say there's pros and cons to any company, but I love and appreciate both of those. And I can't tell you, well, I can, I'm telling you right now, I am so proud to tell people that I grew up at Hensel Phelps and that I've worked at DPR. And that I got a chance to work with Oakland Construction. I am proud of these companies. And I will say that DPR is one of my favorite companies. Why? Because they care about people. And why do I love HP? Because they care about people. I can't tell you how many stories of somebody where their family was in trouble and the president of the company gives them a call and says, what do you need? We're here to help. These people, Hensel Phelps, DPR, they care about people. Like, you just can't fake stuff like that. And they're just different, At Hensel Phelps, it's easier to scale things, right? Because there's more uniformity. At DPR, it's easier to get your job done on an individual project, but it's really hard as a general superintendent to scale things. That's part of the reason I didn't stay at DPR, was because, ultimately, because each project is autonomous, I had less ability to scale. Now, maybe that's just me being a bad leader, but that's one of the reasons. So I hope that answers the question. But they're both fantastic companies, absolutely. The other thing he said, looking forward to having tact questions for you and Spencer's. I keep moving through the book. Or she. Yeah, she said this. I'm sorry. I knew that was wrong when I said it. But anyway, I love the feedback here. So let's get into the podcast right now. We are not being creative enough in adapting to smaller projects. So let's go ahead and get this. Oh, let me tell you something. I've been on billion-dollar projects, $350 million hospital projects. I've been on $100 million projects. The other thing is, I'll brag about DPR a little bit. They have a group called the Special Services Group. The Special Services Group, the smaller projects, which are a lot of times more difficult, was some of the best jobs at implementing lean principles and some of these operational excellence standards. Like literally, you can go to Arizona, DPR, Special Services Group, and they're killer when it comes to pull planning and last planner and scheduling systems and tacted information and operational excellence and cleanliness and organization. Now, every job's different. Right. So I'm not saying all jobs are like that, but like some of the SSG jobs were killer. And so I know for a fact this is scalable to smaller projects. The other thing is the pharmacy was $10 million minus. It could, anyway, it was somewhere between $2 and $10 million. And we implemented the exact same techniques on that small project as we did any others. I know for a fact these things are scalable. So I did want to say that 100%. We can adapt to smaller projects. So I'm going to go through an outline real quick. And let's just go through this high level. And I'll give you a couple of tips. So in the pre-construction efforts, you create a project strategy. So I'll tell you when this deviates. So if I list it in the outline, it applies to large and small. Create a strategy, identify constraints, incorporate contract requirements, identify flow, perform a tax analysis, a day-to-day analysis, build a tax plan, identify bottleneck activities, schedule constraints, make a procurement strategy. All say, like up to this point, big job, small job. Develop a site logistics plan. Consider regional constraints. Review the plan with a wider team. Set up your procurement log, your procurement meetings, a 90-day mobilization schedule. Begin working on entitlements and permitting. None of that's different. Even if you have a smaller staff, you have to just figure out how to, without killing yourself, get it done, get some additional help, or do the right things at the right times to get the same amount of pre-construction work done. I will say that's a key though. If you come to a smaller project and you're the only person there, it's going to be hard to get all these things done. That's why your company has to stop sending supers and PMs to a project once you've reached an NTP. I'd say if any company is doing this, you have to stop right now. I love you very much. I love you, love you, love you. You have to stop doing this. If you don't have builders in pre-construction and on the bench, or if your organization isn't working to get people on the bench to where they can plan and then execute their jobs, you've got to stop this. That is most of the reason why you're not successful. And if you either say, well, our builders aren't ready, they don't know how to do it, we have too much work, or hey, figure it out, scale back the work, start hiring more. That's the other thing. I think it's so stupid for a company to ever say, I'm going to stop hiring. I own a business and I've never stopped hiring at all, because you have people in your organization that aren't cultural fits, that if you found a cultural fit, you could allow them a better, more happier environment. That was the podcast I did before this, right? Terminate somebody when they don't fit, to respect them, right? You've got to keep recruiting and hiring people, and you have to have people that can do these pre-con jobs. If you don't have this, you need to stop and fix this first and foremost. So people and teaming, engage the project team as soon as possible. Design your trailers. Even if they're a smaller one, you're on a smaller job. Identify your org chart, right? Ensure the plan has enough time. Review your GCs and GRs. Make sure you have a good plan. All of this is still the same. The only thing I would say is if you're a single superintendent and you want to know how you do coverage systems and how you only work 55 hours a week, and you're like, hey, I don't have other project management staff, think for just a minute. I'm gonna do this the pedagogical way right here. Think right now, what are some, think about 3 options. I'm gonna get some Tums because I just had pizza and a Coca-Cola for some ungodly reason. I'm gonna get some Tums for my backpack here. Think about 3 ways you could overcome that challenge. You're on a single project. No. Yeah, you're on a small project. You're the only person there. How do you get coverage to where you can go to your doctor's appointment and get home on time? Hold on, I'm gonna get one. You think right now, go. Okay, got my Tums. Okay, what did you come up with? Okay, those are all good ideas. One of the ideas, if you didn't come up with this, that I really liked is, can you train your GC carpenter foreman, your logistics foreman to cover for you? Can you get a schedule with your PM to where they can cover when you have your doctor's appointments or where you have to get home to mama or dad or whatever one day? There are things you can do. You're just not getting creative enough. Where's your problem, and come up with 15 freaking solutions and then go make a decision, right? Identify a project logistics foreman. You can fit it into the budget, I guarantee you. And if not, prove it to me. I'll make you a bet. I'll bet you $1,000 we can find a way in the budget to get you some help. Perform a pre-construction excellence pull plan. You can do that on small jobs. Respect for people plan. Absolutely. Even if you can't get full bathrooms and a huge lunch area, you can at least get a tent and you can at least get enough porta potties to take care of your people, right? Provide smoking areas. Yep, all size jobs. Good parking, all size jobs. Contracts, modify work exhibits. Yes, track all needed contract inclusions. Buyout coordination efforts. Buyout just-in-time procurement with inventory buffers. Buyout the last planner system. Ensure zero tolerance systems are included in the contracts. You can do all that in big and small jobs. Schedule health. Develop a proper schedule with good schedule health. Do a risk analysis. Maintain a basis of schedule. Tax zone maps. Get trade partner input. Use a risk and opportunity register. Hold a fresh eyes meetings. Yep, all that. You can do all that with any size job. Getting lean bought out in contracts. Any size job. Last planner system. Any size job. Prefabrication. You might be limited here just because of budgets, but I would just say look at it. What can you prefabricate and do as much as you can? Winning over your workforce. Can you build respectful bathrooms, any size job? Yes. Lunchroom, any size job? Yes. Morning worker huddles? Absolutely, I would do that, especially if I was the only person there. Monthly barbecues? Yes. Parking for the workers? Yes. Smoking areas? Yes. Environment safe, clean, and organized? Yes. But you're going to have to hold people accountable. Can you build a high-performing team where you know exactly how you're going to cover the project with the PM and the logistics foreman? Yes. Can you time block your week? Yes. Can you make sure that you have good teaming with the extended partners of your project and your owners? Absolutely. Can you create a weekly meeting schedule that takes care of your family? Yes. Procurement meetings? Yes. Can you do afternoon foreman huddles if you're the only person on site? Yes. Daily worker huddles? Yes. Can you do a team weekly meeting to where you have coverage? Yes. I mean, I'm almost wasting your time at this point. The only thing that doesn't apply are coverage systems, because if you're the only person there, you're not covering with anybody. But the other thing is, if you have a PM that's remote, you can plug them into your coverage when you absolutely need them and schedule them a week in advance to actually be there on site to help you out. We just have to be more creative and delegate. Like I will outthink and outplan somebody to get them where I need and the support that I need for things like this. I won't just wait till the last minute. And then I know I couldn't ask the PM, but if I get there a week early, hey, I really need to go to this doctor's appointment, I need help. Absolutely, they'll do that. Or you can shut the job down early, or you can have the logistics foreman, or you can call the safety director and say, hey, I'm going to leave the logistics foreman here this afternoon. Can you be ready to take some calls just in case something happens? I've gone over the emergency action plan with everybody, right? So these are all things that you can do. Orientations. Yeah, you're a one-person show. Put the orientation on a video and test everybody. No big deal. Let's get creative. Designing remarkable interaction spaces. Even though you have a small trailer, make it remarkable. Logistics systems. Appoint your key personnel, your forklift operator, crane operator, all these folks as guardians to help you out. Make sure that you have somebody on the craft side to check entries and SWIP and dust control, hoisting operations, trash removal. Get some help. If not, if there's a PE on site, you can get a little bit of help there too, right? So just make sure that you get all these systems wrapped around and say, how can I create not systems that depend on me, but self-sustaining systems? How can I, instead of doing everything for everybody, make sure the trades are keeping themselves accountable, being good neighbors, with having good material deliveries just in time, cords off the ground, making sure it's clean, safe, organized. You're going to have to hold people accountable to do that, but totally possible on a smaller job. Meeting system, it'll be scaled back. Totally possible on a smaller job. Procurement deliveries, totally possible. Accountability, you can have a wonderful quality program, you just need a little help from your PM. Daily issue correction system. I would 100% send out GroupMe or WhatsApp or text messages to the foreman every day. 100%. That's how I can make sure that I'm not, taking that whole burden on myself. A roadblock removal system. I'm going to go fast now. Zero tolerance. Yeah, you can do that on a small job. Grading contractors. Yep. Foreman standard work. Foreman's continuous improvement. The whole nine. I just went through the whole list. There's nothing you can't do. The only thing that changes is that your coverage systems are a little bit harder, and you need to have your what do I want to say? Your company make sure that you're in the pre-construction stages so you have time to do some of these things that we highly recommend. This is the way to build projects. If you're like, hey, I would do good pre-construction meetings, or I would do a quality process, or I would do project planning and get enough time. If, stop the ifs. I'm telling you, this is how you build good jobs. So it's either you're going to build a good job or you're not going to build a good job. You're not going to not do these things and build a good job. So just make the decision and tell your company, hey, I love you. I went in on these jobs early and I want to be a part of it. 100%. I'm not doing this anymore. I love you. I'm loyal, but we're going to make a change, right? So when I was working in Oakland, great people, great company. I was like, hey, if I'm gonna be a director over a job, I'm in on the pre-con, and I'm gonna negotiate the schedule, and I'm gonna be there. And then the jobs were like, some people were like, yeah, of course that job finished on time and really well when they saw my jobs, and they're like, yeah, because you had plenty of time. Well, duh, I had plenty of time because I freaking planned the thing. Like, it didn't just happen by accident. I wouldn't have had those things if I didn't plan it. Like, this is the way. Like, I don't know what else. I don't know what to tell people. Like, if you don't plan the job in pre-construction with your builders, it's gonna suck. Like, 1 + 1 = 2. 1 + 1 does not equal 3. Like, you can't be like, no pre-con effort with builders equals that we're gonna finish on time. Like, that's stupid. We shouldn't think things like that. So I just want to say, I love you. I'm not getting in your face. This whole I can't implement this on a smaller job is an excuse. You need to stop it. And you are smart enough to figure this out. And all it is if you have a problem and you're like, okay, I'm only one person, Jason, how do you expect me to do a coverage system? Well, freaking duh. Like, think about it for a minute. I don't expect you to do that, but I do expect you to have coverage for the things that you need because you deserve it. So get a logistics foreman, or get some help from the PM, or schedule it with the safety director. Think of every stinking person in the whole. You could get the home office administrator, get him at like the front office desk phone call answer guy. It'd be like, can you come watch my project for a Friday afternoon? Freaking get creative. Like, you're being a victim. Like, stop giving me these excuses that these don't apply to small jobs. I know for a fact that they do. You put me on a small job, there's no way in hell I'm going to be stuck there for 60, 70, 80 hours, locking up the gate every damn day, burning my life out, never at home with my family, working from 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. And there's no way in hell I'm doing that. And if the PM was like, we don't have it in the budget, I'm like, well, then you can freaking work 18 hours in a day because I ain't doing it. You can go to hell. Like that's exactly what I would say. I mean, just instead of fluffing money in a bunch of contracts and hiding it, everybody, give me a freaking foreman that's safety trained that has his or her OSHA 30. They can watch this job, and this is my standard schedule. Like, we are smart enough to figure this out. So don't give me that crap that you can't scale these to smaller projects. There's just a couple of things that are different. And just because large teams have 4, 5, 6, 10, 13 people on them, it doesn't make it any easier. The ideal team size is 4. So it actually gets harder once the team sizes get above 9 or 12, unless you break the project into separate project teams, which is the best way to do it. So I'm saying this because I love you and I want these good things for you. So the problem really isn't that they're small jobs. It's that you're not getting creative enough. I'm not getting creative enough. But that's up until now, because now we're going to do that. So I hope this is helpful. Everything can be scaled from to a smaller project. I've seen it over and over and over and over and over again. And here's the deal. If one person can do it, you can, or those people are smarter than you. And if I said, hey, is that person smarter than you? You'd be like, hell no. All right, so what's the difference? You're just not being creative enough. If one person can do it, you can. Let's get this done. On we go.
Please join us next time in elevating the entire construction experience for workers, leaders, and companies coast to coast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to share with your construction colleagues and help us spread the word by rating, subscribing, and leaving a review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time on the Elevate Construction Podcast.